Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. So I'm actually filming this before I've uploaded or even finished editing the previous video that you saw, so the digestive one. The reason why I'm filming this now before I finish editing the other one is because I'm actually flying back home today in the evening. I'm currently the only one that's still left at our flat, and I thought, kind of want to, film outside of my room for once, so just, making the most of the opportunity. I realised we had no cushions and decorations though, so I just took, the stuff I have in my room and decided to put it here instead. So this video is basically just going to be the general information about Biomed HealthSci first year at the University of Auckland. I know all the information is online, you can find it on the website and stuff, but I just thought, it might be easier for some people to have a video on it. I just want to put a disclaimer out here that this information is basically from my personal experience as well as just reading off the website for 2019. So I don't know if anyone's watching this in the future, but things may be slightly different, so I would still recommend double checking the official Auckland website and not just trust everything I say. I will include links in the description because I think they'll be useful for some of you guys just to just read up on things that I might be talking about, or just have more information that maybe explaining stuff. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below and I will try and answer them, but I can't guarantee. I also probably won't really talk about my own personal experience doing Biomed. I think I might leave that for another video, so this is just going to be, like I said, general information on what it is. So I guess let's start. So I guess the first thing is, what is Biomed? Or Biomed HealthSci, like why do people do it and why do people come to Auckland? So basically in New Zealand there are two universities that will offer the health programs. So for Auckland you have medicine, optometry, pharmacy and medical imaging, while in Otago you have medicine, dentistry and pharmacy. So the main thing I'm bringing up there is if you want to study optometry or medical imaging or get that degree, you'd have to come to the University of Auckland, while if you want to do dentistry you'd have to go down to Otago. For both of them, but I'm just going to mainly talk about Auckland, but I know it's for both of them, you can't apply for any of these clinical programs straight out of high school, so you're going to have to either go through the undergrad or postgrad entry. So at Auckland, for the undergrad route, there are two routes, one of them being the Bachelor of Science, majoring in biomedical science, and then the Bachelor of Health Science. So yeah, for short, Biomed HealthSci. Yeah, everyone calls them that. I'll talk about it later as well, the differences with Biomed and HealthSci, but if you want to apply for optometry or medical imaging, you have to do Biomed. But for medicine and pharmacy, you can apply either from Biomed or HealthSci. You can also, off topic, but you can usually, I'm pretty sure for all of these as well, you can do the first year at Otago and then apply for Auckland. I'm not going to go into that though because I don't know much about myself. So now I'm just going to talk about the overall structure of to get into these clinical programs. So for basically all of them, there's a set number of placements that they give every year. Basically, there's going to be more applicants than the spaces they're able to provide. So what they do is they essentially just rank all the different people, and whoever's in the top 100 spaces, then they will fill up the spaces first. So I'm just going to use an actual example. So for optometry, every year they accept 60 students for second year optom. I don't know how many people apply, but let's just say 300 people apply. So that means the 300 people will get ranked against each other, and based off that, the top 60 people will be accepted in the following year. This is just a really broad overview. I'm not going to talk about the extra schemes, so the rural scheme or the MAPA scheme, but those also exist, so Even though I say top 60 or whatever, it's not actually that, but you get the kind of idea of it. Yeah, so how I base this ranking is based off, in most cases, just two things, but for medicine there's a third. So for all the clinical programs, they will base it off your grades and interview, and for medicine only, the UCAT. So I'm going to just go through each of those three things, just so you kind of get an idea of how it works. So for your grades, basically there are 8 papers you do in a year. That's for most degrees anyway, and so you do 4 per semester because there's 2 semesters. So even though there are 8 papers, that doesn't mean all of the papers will contribute to your rank. So I'm actually just going to show you guys right now on the screen, hopefully, that will show you the papers you do in the University of Biomed and the papers you do in the University of HealthSci. So these are the papers that you will be doing, or that people do. And you can see that there are 4 papers that are identical in both of them. So these are considered, at least for medicine, your core papers. So the core papers are the ones that contribute to your rank, while the non-cores, so these ones are the ones that will contribute to your overall GPA basically. So I'm just going to give you another example. Let's say someone was doing University of Biomed, and for all the core papers they got a grade of A, but then for all their non-cores they got a grade of B+. So if someone was to look at this person's grades, they would say their overall GPA is an A-, but if they only looked at their core papers, their GPA would be considered an A. So you can see that the non-cores can be important, but your cores in most cases are most important. So the next thing is the interview. The interview is something you do usually around November, so after you've actually finished all your papers, and then if you get accepted for an interview, they will send you an email about the day and the time, and you just come in and do it. So it's not your normal one-to-one sort of style. It's called an MMI, which stands for multi-mini interview. And I think I might do another video on this later. I'll do this video in the future, but we'll see. The idea is there's usually 8 stations, and each one has a different interviewer, and there's a question or something that you will go and read and then tell and explain your thought process to the interviewer. Each question and stuff will kind of focus on a different topic, so the things they look for in these interviews are more your, ethical reasoning, logical reasoning, your understanding of Māori and the MAPA scheme, rural health, lots of these kind of ideas. So it's really important for your communication skills, and it's actually a reason why I think a lot of people choose to go to Otago instead of Auckland, because they don't want to do the MMI. So now if we're talking just about medicine, the last thing they have is the UCAT. So the UCAT stands for the University Clinical Aptitude Test, and it's basically a test that I think a lot of universities around the world actually do. The process of it's quite similar, where they look at different ways, I guess you think, and see if you would be a good clinical practitioner. In terms of New Zealand and Auckland, the only health profession that needs to do it is medicine. So if you're applying or want to do any of the other 3 I mentioned before, you don't need to do it, basically. It's basically like this test which covers, like I said, the way you think. So there are 5, I guess, categories in this one. There's verbal reasoning, decision making, quantitative reasoning, abstract reasoning, and situational judgment. So the first 3, you can group it together, kind of like logical reasoning. So one in a pattern sequence or sorting different objects into different categories. So yeah, it's quite different. And then the last one will give you a context of a situation, and you have to understand how a person is feeling, or like what a person may be thinking, just based off like a few paragraphs of this person talking, or like a story. So it's quite different, and people do kind of study for it, but I'm not sure. Like I said before, I actually did the UMAT, which was similar. How they assessed it was different. So that is, at least for medicine, 15% of your overall rank. I would say it's not worth as much in Auckland though, compared to Dunedin, because remember in Otago, they don't have the interview. So things like your grades and your UCAT score will cost more. Just something to consider. I think it's quite known at Auckland to be quite an intense first year. There's like a lot of people that apply, and unfortunately there is only a limited number of spots for some of the clinical programs. So people often, work really hard and try to get really good grades, because it's still worth quite a lot of your rank, and so it can be quite a stressful thing. So it's quite intense and full on. Like I said, I'll talk about my experience in maybe another video, but just something to keep in mind that it is quite a full-on first year, basically. I guess quickly we'll just talk about the requirements for it. So to be eligible for Biomed and HealthSci, you have to get rank scores. For Biomed, the rank score is 280, while the rank score for HealthSci is 250. So the rank score is basically how they decide you can get into the first year program. I'm just going to talk about NCA, but the rank score isn't too difficult to get. I will have to double check. I didn't check actually, but I'm pretty sure it's meant to be like each credit you get is worth a certain amount. So an excellence credit is worth 4 points, merit is 3, achieved is 2, and don't know where the 1 is, but basically let's say you get you do an internal and you get excellence on it, and that internal was 4 credits, so that means you'd get 16 points. They look at all of this, and then as long as you get over the rank score, you can get into the program. Another thing as well is for HealthSci that you do need to have at least 18 credits from Table A and Table B. So I'll also put that down. Anyone in year 13 and you want to do HealthSci, make sure that you're doing 1 paper from each table, and that you're getting the required credits from it. Yeah, so I think that's all I have to say about it. I feel like, I don't know, I'm not sure if there's anything else. Yeah, I hope this was useful. I mean, like I said, all this information is on their website, but maybe someone explaining it may be useful to some of you guys. Yeah, so again, there's links in the description. I'm also including, I think, a blog post from someone who's actually in the year above me. So she's a 3rd year medical student, and she's really onto it, I guess, and she actually wrote a blog post a few years ago that compares Biomed and HealthSci, which hopefully you guys will find useful. Thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll see you guys in another video.